Howdy, y'all. It's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this August 25th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for watching. God bless you all. Start in the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist, and please hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Really do appreciate it. All right, so lately we've been following Jesus as he's been slowly making his way to Jerusalem for what we know to be his impending death. We know that once he enters Jerusalem, then that's pretty much the countdown to his death, burial, and resurrection. But we're not quite there yet. Let's continue on. We're going to go back to the book of Matthew today, Matthew chapter 20, and start in verse 1. This is Jesus speaking. God's kingdom is like a man who owns some land. One morning, the man went out very early to hire some people to work in his vineyard. He agreed to pay the workers 1 silver coin for working that day. Then he sent them into the vineyard to work. About 9 o'clock, the man went to the marketplace and saw some other people standing there. They were doing nothing. So he said to them, "If you go and work in my field, I will pay you what your work is worth." So they went to work in the vineyard. The man went out again about 12 o'clock and again at 3 o'clock. Both times he hired some others to work in his vineyard. About 5 o'clock, the man went to the marketplace again. He saw some other people standing there. He asked them, "Why did you stand here all day doing nothing?" They said, "No one gave us a job." The man said to them, "Then you can go and work in my vineyard." At the end of the day, the owner of the field said to the boss of all the workers, "Call the workers and pay them all. Start by paying the last people I hired, then pay all of them, ending with the ones I hired first." The workers who were hired at 5 o'clock came to get their pay. Each worker got 1 silver coin. Then the workers who were hired first came to get their pay. They thought they would be paid more than the others, but each one of them also received 1 silver coin. When they got their silver coin, they complained to the man who owned the land. They said, "Those people were hired last and worked only 1 hour, but you paid them the same as us, and we worked hard all day in the hot sun." But the man who owned the field said to one of them, "Friend, I am being fair with you. You agreed to work for 1 silver coin, right? So take your pay and go. I want to give the man who was hired last the same pay I gave you. I can do what I want with my own money. Why would you be jealous because I am generous?" So those who are last now will be first in the future, and those who are first now will be last in the future. Verse 17. Jesus was going to Jerusalem. His 12 followers were with him. While they were walking, he gathered the followers together and spoke to them privately. He said to them, "We are going to Jerusalem. The Son of Man will be handed over to the leading priests and the teachers of the law, and they will say he must die. They will hand him over to the foreigners, who will laugh at him and beat him with whips, and then they will kill him on a cross. But on the third day after his death, he will be raised to life again." Okay, so Jesus is using this story to paint the picture to us about what God's kingdom is like, and in particular, what it means to receive God's blessing, and he uses it to explain how it happens, how it has happened over time. So we have a man who owns a vineyard, okay, big old vineyard, lots of plants, lots of grapes and vines, whatnot, but he needs people to work them. So he goes out and hires some workers, and they agree that they will work the vineyard for 1 silver coin. Okay, so in this case, the man who owns the field is, of course, God, right? I think we can all pretty much see that. And then the people who are hired first, these first workers, are the nation of Israel. Okay, in the very beginning, when God calls them out, they made a covenant agreement with God that they will be his people and he will be their God, right? Then the man goes out and he hires more people throughout the day at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and he says he will pay them. Okay, fine. So this is God calling in other peoples, okay, later on down the line. So the lost souls of Israel, later on the Gentiles as well. Everyone who will be a part of God's kingdom, God's family. He's calling them in. Okay. So he's using this metaphor of, hiring workers that way. Then at the end of the day, or in this case, whatever the end times are, he says it's time to pay the workers. And so they start with the ones who were last, ones who were brought in last, and they pay them 1 silver coin. Even though they were only there for just a little bit of time, the man, God, gives them the exact same thing as he's going to give to the first ones. Okay? They get the exact same pay, even though they did less work. And so you get back to the people who were hired first, the nation of Israel, and of course, they're jealous. Say, hey, these people were only here for a fraction of the time, and you're giving them the exact same pay you gave us. Don't we deserve more for working all day in the hot sun? And the man says, no, you agreed with me that I would pay you 1 silver coin. That was the arrangement. That was the agreement that we shook hands on or signed or whatever. Okay? If I want to pay them the exact same thing for their work as I do you, that's my prerogative. You have no right to be jealous about that. You have no right to be jealous of how generous I want to be. And that is God's attitude toward it. God is offering us, the world, the Gentiles, everyone, the exact same thing that he promised to the nation of Israel, that we would be his people and he would be our God, right? It doesn't matter when or how or why it happens, but the moment we accept Christ, we become part of God's family. Full stop. He has us. He will never let us go. And then the last part, Jesus very explicitly describes his death and what's going to happen. He's going to go into Jerusalem. The leaders of the Jews say that he must die. They're going to give him over to the foreigners, in this case, the Romans, and they are going to mock him and beat him and whip him, and they're going to hang him on a cross. He will die, then he will rise again on the third day, right? He just lays it out plainly for us. Now, what he doesn't say here is that unfortunately, the apostles, they're hearing this, but they are not fully understanding this at all. Okay? They don't know the reason behind it. They don't, they don't know what's going on, why he's saying these things, because God has not revealed that to them yet. He has not allowed them to see that. All right, well, that's all for today. We're going to pick it up there tomorrow. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.